heritage, which will make a decision next week in Istanbul, precisely of all places, who is building dams like the Ilisu Dam. And we took a look at the preliminary decision, and it seems that the expert committee has recommended the deferral of the file. Two main reasons that we can discuss is that there's Iraq doesn't have like negotiation with Turkey, and what are the exact water flows that the marshes need to maintain the biodiversity of the area, and that there was not, in their view, a strong management plan for the marshes. So if we could work together, we want to show that civil society is an active partner and a stakeholder in solving the water problem. So we would like to, open the dialogue and the discussion with the Iraqi government to see how we can work it together. So that is the picture within Iraq, and these are some pictures I took in 2012 when I was there, with the water buffaloes and the houses and the traditional boats is still alive, the culture. And I know it's a big symbol of the Iraqi heritage that we are all proud. So we see the UNESCO submission as a tool, not as the final, as the final thing to save the marshes, but as a tool that we can use in negotiations with Turkey. And then at the national level, the KRG, as I said, is the upstream actor, and there were, this is news report from last week, that the KRG could be considering using the water of the Tigris to stop the water to get their share of the national budget. So this is also of great concern to us as civil society, and should be there, that we should use water to unite us, not to, as a tool of control and power. And finally, at the international level, we have been working also a lot with civil society in Turkey, because they would be affected also by the construction of the Ilisu Dam. There will be a lot of displacement. So we've been sending Iraqis to Turkey, and Turkish civil society coming to Iraq and Baghdad, and they've been in meetings with the government too. As I said, Ilisu, maybe I will talk a little bit later when I go into the reasons, but Ilisu is a very sensitive issue also in Turkey. If you talk against Ilisu, you're talking against national security, so you're seen as a terrorist, basically. So people in Turkey are trying to stop it, but they're also being threatened. At the same time, in Iran, there's also been civil society concerns against construction of a big dam, the Daryan Dam, which goes into a tributary of the Tigris in Iraq. So both in Suleimania and in the Kurdistan area in Iran, there have been demonstrations, and civil society is working to stop these big dams. And then I had a picture of a dam in Syria, but didn't come here. Maybe I didn't save it. But it was showing a dam in the Hasaka region, and it was fully dried. So also that tells you that dams, are not the only solution to the water problem. They're also, because of climate change, I mean, it will not save us. The dams will not be the solution. This problem is a political problem, so I think it requires political solutions, and not only it requires technology and our use of technology, but also political will and political solutions. So now I want to talk about the three main reasons why people undermine the risk of Ilisu Dam in Iraq, and it's a hydropower dam. It's only will just collect water and pass it to generate electricity. What's the problem with that? The problem with that is that the Tigris, the Ilisu Dam is the first mega dam on the Tigris River, and the construction of it will lead to having infrastructure for having more irrigation dams. So the problem is not Ilisu, it's what Ilisu will represent. There is the possibility to build Gisre Dam and all the other dams that are left from the GAP project. And then after that, you know, you will have the water for irrigation. So, and then also, you know, the water will pass through the turbines and it will affect and disturb the ecosystem and the biodiversity. So it will bring the water to Iraq, but what water quality and what water quantity? This was a picture I wanted to show you from Hasaka. So it was taken by one of our colleagues from Turkey from in 2015 last year. So climate change and then, you know, the risk of war and management and maintenance of dams. The second reason people might undermine the risk of Ilisu Dam is like there is no legal basis or legal framework to demand the halt of the construction of Ilisu. And we think that this is not really accurate because Iraq and Turkey has specifically two agreements that are from 1923 and 1946. The Lausanne Agreement and the 1946 Good Neighborly Treaty with Iraq that required that Iraq and Turkey share the water in a friendly and, you know, equitable way. And these agreements, the 1946 provides that if there is no good resolution mechanism, that the Iraq could go to the UN Security Council. So there is a legal tool. We've been discussing a lot that there's no legal framework, there's no legal tools, but there's still these agreements are valid because there's not been any cancellation of them. So they are still valid, and we think as civil society they are a tool for a negotiation, like a framework for negotiation. And some might say that Turkey has not signed the 1997 convention on the uses of non-navigable uses of water courses, but this doesn't mean that Turkey has not the obligation to comply with international customary law. International customary law applies to any countries regardless of they have signed the Treaty of 1997, and this convention states that there should be a transboundary environmental impact assessment with the countries affected by the dam, and that there should be consultation with downstream states. So again, this is a legal framework that Iraq could use as a tool to negotiate. Yeah, customary international law, yeah, I said that, prevent transboundary environmental impacts. And then the third reason, and this might be also like common knowledge, that Iraq is already trying to negotiate water shares with Turkey, which include the Ilisu Dam. And again, we think this is a bit dangerous because water shares, for example, would apply to the use of the Euphrates river that has already the Ataturk and other dams. So we already have a dam constructed, and we need to negotiate what are the water shares. In turn, Ilisu has not been built, and international frameworks require consultation and environmental impact assessment. So it's different. The Ilisu Dam is not built, it's not started its operation, so we still have a legal, I would say, like historical right to the use of the Tigris River. In turn, in the Euphrates, it's already built, and we have seen already the impact of the quality of the water and the quantity. So with Ilisu, with the Tigris, we still have the possibility of demanding the stop of the construction and demanding consultation and being an active partner with Turkey in what are going to be the solutions. So this is what I mean by water shares versus water rights. It's a bit different, and it has different implications. So as civil society, we think we should focus on water rights, not on water shares. And finally it could give Turkey the impression that we don't care what they build as long as they send us some water. You know, so if they build Ilisu and we stay quiet, then, you know, we can build Gisre, we can build all the other infrastructure without any consequences. So that's why we think it's, Ilisu is a symbol, it represents, you know, our caring for the cultural and natural and environmental value of water resources in Iraq. So in conclusion, we have existing treaties and customary international law as a tool. Also, Iran is, even though it's not an active, you know, like, it's only the tributaries that flow. They don't, they're not like part of the riparian actors. Maybe our colleague Zaki will discuss this tomorrow, more in more of the legal part. But we should also reach a settlement with Iran and promote an effort to sign basin-wide agreements, even though there is no transboundary water agreement now, but we should be talking about that, not saying like, oh, because we don't have an agreement, we cannot do anything. Okay, while we have an agreement, we can also be, you know, working on the same direction. And finally, to include civil society as an active partner and actor in the decisions on water policy, the decision making on water policy in Iraq. I have some literature about the campaign, and so you can feel free to take some of it. And if you have any more questions about the work we do, then we can talk.